world needs. We need your passion. We need your authenticity. We need you to get mad. We need you to get messy. We need you to get raw. We need you to get real. Speak your story. Speak your truth. Let that light in. Be the light. We need to create change. And the only way we can do that is being authentic. Welcome back to another week of The Layla Show with me, your host, Layla Ziari, featuring all sorts of beautiful guests and beautiful people from all over the world who are coming together for one purpose, to share their stories, speak their truth, and create a conscious, unified community, one conversation at a motherfucking time. Real, raw, unfiltered. The Layla Show.
Well,
How are you?
hi Nancy. How are you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to meet you.
Same here. Where are you?
I'm in Santa Monica.
Very nice.
And you're obviously in the same place that Joseph is.
Rainy, cold. It's just horrible here.
Awful. It's like 70 and sunny here every day.
Yeah, I just took the phone with my sister who's in Florida, and she told me she was at the pool. So I was like,
Oh, yeah, we need to send that sunny energy your way. I was at the beach earlier. So
yeah. Oh,
we'll send that to you. Well, anyway, welcome.
Thank you very much. Let's do this.
Let's do it. Tell me all about yourself. I don't know where you want to start. I'm in no leadership mode at the moment.
You're in no leadership, but that's going to be a problem.
No, you wrote a book, obviously.
I wrote a book. Yeah. Sorry about that.
And you have a cute dog, which is also great.
So yes, I wrote a book. It's called Cousins. And if you can see, it's a little sexy cover.
We like that.
Because it has a little bit of sex and a little bit of gangster activity.
Well, I mean, those are great things.
Right? I figured The Sopranos mixed with a little bit of 50 Shades of Grey without the kinkiness.
Okay. I'm obsessed.
I worked on a book for about 7 years, to be honest with you.
Oh, wow.
Reason why is because, first of all, I didn't even know I was going to do this. I just had a few ideas floating in my head. I'd sit down, type them out, and forget about it. And then I didn't really have that many other ideas. So I just left it alone thinking, okay, this was fun. It was a hobby and it's all good. And then I would think of something else. And then all of a sudden it just started to flow. And I ended up with a nice, good book, if I say so myself.
I have to read it still, but I will, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
But
no problem.
But I love that because, I feel like that is how like creativity kind of like, I feel like so many people I talk to who write were like, I didn't really know it was going to happen. It just kind of started happening. And here we are.
Well, I definitely fit into that. I had no plans on doing this. None at all.
Well, I mean, so like you had never written before. What were you doing before this?
I am involved in our local police department. I work for them. And I also own a pet sitting service because I love animals. True love is animals.
You
You do?
do.
It's fun, isn't it?
It is. It makes me really happy. And I mean, animals are easier than humans.
Absolutely. That's exactly how I'd rather be around animals than humans any day.
Wholeheartedly agree. But I digress. We have to be around humans.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's interesting. So you're in the police department and then you wrote a book about like crime.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Well, I grew up in a town that is 98% Italian when I was growing up. And I'm not Italian, but I learned a lot of their traits, listening to their stories, smelling their sauce being boiling at the stove on a Sunday. So all that, I just loved it. One thing I loved is how caring they were towards their family. They really took care of their family. And not to say that non-Italians don't do that. So that's not what I'm saying. But I felt the warmth, and I learned it through them. I learned to become a little bit more warmer. When you walk in somebody's house, you give them a hug and a kiss. You don't just walk in, plop down, and say, hey, I'm here. So it's just living in the town really helped me get through life. I learned a lot of lessons and then write the book.
Love it. Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Italian people are very warm. I lived in Italy for a brief time in my life. And
You've got a lot going on, don't you?
on so much all the time. It's overwhelming. But I love that, especially because I was living in France before that, and like the complete, like, I mean, yeah, they hug you and kiss you, but the stark difference just between like the warmth after living there and
Yeah.
going to Italy was like, okay, I could be Italian.
Yeah, exactly.
I could do that. I was always like getting invited to like a family dinner or something, like, family
You can
birthday.
feel it. You can really, really feel it, you know? So yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. How long did you live in Italy?
I only lived there for a couple months. So I lived in France for a year, so
Okay. You get around, girl.
I get around. Well, you'll have to go visit because your stories are from Italy. So.
Yes. Well, I actually went to Italy way back when. I think it was even in the 80s. I went to Italy. And I stayed with my friend who I went with. She had relatives over there. And her uncle, or no, I'm sorry, her cousin was a priest. So all the places that he took us to were parishes. We saw a lot of things, but we stayed in these little small. I didn't get anything extravagant and the big meals. We didn't go to the big restaurants. So I kind of got a different taste. I got a taste of what it actually feels like to live there and not be a tourist. So I go back as a tourist. All that stuff. I want the wine. I want the breads. I want the olive oil. I want it all.
I mean, I get that. I mean, you can travel not like a tourist. That's like my whole thing. I never want to be, I mean, obviously I want to see some of the things, but I like to maintain that as well. So you can still do that. You can still do that. Just act as if.
Yeah.
But
Don't act like a tourist. That's the whole point of
the
it.
whole point. If you don't act like it, those experiences will always find you.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us a little bit more about, like, I don't know, your story, your book, I don't know, anything. We'll go with the book first, then we'll get.
Okay. Well, it starts off. It's about the book is called Cousins, and it's about two guys that grow up like brothers, but they're actually cousins, and they're very tight. The whole family is very tight, and they have a little falling out. They have a disagreement. Something happens, and they stop talking. Giuseppe and Christopher are the two main characters' names. Hey, Giuseppe.
Very accurate.
He's more of a bad guy. Chris is worried about his family. He's got a very successful business going on. He's just doing everything right. When they have a falling out, Chris and Giuseppe decides to go towards the other side of the family, the mob connected side of the family. So once he gets connected with that aspect of life, Christopher and his whole family, they just don't talk for the longest time. And I don't know if you know this, but sometimes if you have an argument amongst the Italian family, one person has the argument, the whole family has to stop talking to that side of the family. So I kind of put that in the book where everybody stopped talking to them, and it continues on where they go on with life, and something happens where Giuseppe actually reaches out to Chris about his fiancée who had a hit put on her. So he actually did the right thing where he came back to the family and he said, listen, just so you know, blah, 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 this is what's going down. You should check it out. And it's an awesome read. And the best part about it is it's a quick read. I didn't make it long, drawn out. I get straight to the point, kind of like my personality. I get straight to the point.
I like that.
And that's the whole idea of the book.
Okay, so it's, like a kind of like a morality, doing the right thing, family journey.
Yes, yeah, it's a little bit of morality. It's a little bit of crime. It's the gangster kind of. It's like a Soprano, like some of the stuff that you saw in the Sopranos type thing. It leans more towards that. It's fun. It's a fun read.
I like it. Sounds like it could also be a TV show or a movie or something.
That would be nice. I would kind of like that.
Is that something, Joseph, we're working on pitching?
I'm going to give that to him to do.
Yeah, exactly. Which is nice that you have help because you just be a creative.
Oh, he truly is the best. He's helping me out a lot.
He is the best. We all love Joseph. So are you
going to be here and say hello?
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Where we're always just talking about how much we love you on all these episodes.
Oh, stop. Literally, I'm going to go home. All right, goodbye. Really, I mean, it's all about growing connection. Like, you know that. Nancy knows that. Robert knows that. Jonathan, and these are all people in like the Maven universe. I mean, truly though, because without connection these days, you don't go far. You can't go far.
Right.
And if you're a good person, have a good heart, and you're communicative, then you'll certainly go a long way.
That's true. It's all about the heart and the connections. Yeah, you're not shit without connections. I need to learn that and work on my connections always.
Well, you're over there in Hollywood land. I know that you're working on some things, and my ears literally rang and perked up when you were talking about oh, that should be a TV show or a movie. It really should be. It's a great read. It's a quick read. Great for spring break. Great for people in Hollywood to read it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And we're just
Working on it.
marketing Nancy's passion.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually started on the next book
Oh, yeah.
over the winter. And just this past weekend, I typed away like a lot.
Is it going to be like an extension of this book, or are you taking it completely?
Oh, it's going to be a carry-on as an extension. Right after they had their dinner, then boom, they get into something else.
Okay, so this is going to maybe be an ongoing series.
I would say yes.
Well, like that's the intent. Well, was it the intention when you wrote the first, or did that just kind of happen?
Layla, I wasn't planning on writing the first.
I know.
I'm just taking it as it comes. It's kind of, I don't want to say a hobby, but it makes me get out of reality for a little while and I just forget about all my problems and whatever's going on, and I just concentrate on these two guys and their problems, and it's therapeutic. It's really, really therapeutic.
I feel like writing.
We'll see how many we get out.
We have no idea. Well, you don't have any idea either, so I guess your character.
I can't answer that. I have no idea.
Your characters know, but like they seem to have their own ideology. So
yeah, very true. Very true.
But yeah, definitely no, writing's super therapeutic. I feel that way too. But of course I write from my own life, which is like way less escape reality and way less fun because it's actually traumatic as fuck to write about my life.
My God. You need to try doing what I'm doing.
I'm like, damn girl, maybe stop traumatizing yourself so fucking much every day. I don't know. What you're doing sounds fun.
It is fun. It truly is. Like I said, it's therapeutic. It's it's very therapeutic. I love it.
Also, like you're also living in a reality, you get to romanticize this mafia life without actually having to get murdered, which is pretty good.
So it's a little of a benefit there.
Not involving yourself in a life of crime is always good, especially with your.
I'm going to jail,
No, don't go to jail.
Getting killed. It's all good.
I don't think your police background would like that either.
Be an issue.
So wait, were you like a police officer?
I was a special police officer in town. And what that means basically is I did go through the academy and I worked with the town for like a part-time police officer. I helped them with their gigs that they have maybe at the high school, traffic, if there's a bad accident, they need extra police officers out there with traffic, stuff like that. I did. And I'm still involved. So it's a good thing. I've been doing that also for a very long time. And I do enjoy it because the guys who I work with are really good guys. They truly are.
Did they read your book?
Some of them did. Yeah. Some of them bought them for their wives, but not all.
Yeah, for the wives, I guess that makes sense. Especially with a little steaminess. So
exactly. We can't really talk about that kind of stuff in the police department.
I mean, I feel like just talking with your coworkers at a regular job in general, you probably don't want to talk about steamy romance.
No, for sure.
Not unless you're a really feisty person, but
If you want to be brought up on charges, then you go right ahead.
Absolutely, which, like, again, not trying to do so.
I also was involved in a first aid squad in town, so I'm really a town-oriented girl. Now, when I first got out of high school, I joined the first aid squad. I was going to school for nursing. And while I was working on the ambulance, I actually fell in the back of the ambulance and got a herniated disc so bad that I ended up needing surgery. So while I'm laying in the bed, recuperating from my surgery, I'm thinking, how the hell am I going to be able to finish nursing because of all the lifting, all the stuff it's going to take? And I thought of the idea of doing pet sitting. We didn't have that in the area. Everything we had here was kennels. People would have to take their pet out of their home. But with the business that I started, the whole idea is that the pet stays right at home, a safe, familiar environment. Nothing changes for the animal. Nothing changes for the owner. They go away on vacation. I take care of the animals. They come home. The animal's there. Everything's all good. That was the whole idea. And there was nothing like that in our area here. So when I started it, I should have franchised.
Well, you live and you learn. I know, because you could have been like Rover, because that's who I.
That's exactly right.
Well, I mean, like, obviously, I just, like, at this point, I just find clients on Rover and then make them pay me cash because fuck their fee. But Sorry,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, you could have been a real. I make great
what I'm
money
thinking.
from their companies.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm thinking. If I knew then what I know now, but you
Well,
know what?
yeah, can't we say that about everything though? Like, damn, if I knew then what I knew now, nothing in my life would be this hard at this moment.
I'm so sorry that hard.
On the surface, it's not that hard. I just,
Yeah,
it's
instead
kind
of
of the parts you don't want to be hard. But yeah, franchising. But yeah, you could have. But
coulda, shoulda, woulda, but you
Coulda,
can't live that way because not only did I shoulda, coulda, woulda with that, when I was working with the police department, I was offered a full-time position as a police officer. And at the time, I was like 3 classes away from my RN degree. And my goal was to be a chopper nurse, and to be a chopper nurse, like a trauma nurse, where the choppers are sent out for bad traumas. You would have to have a little bit of police background and the RN. So I was working, I already had the police background under my belt, so I only had 3 more classes to go for my RN. And that's when I fell in the back of the ambulance. I never actually finished my RN degree. So I got the knowledge, started doing the pet sitting service, and it took off like wildfire.
so how long have you had the pet sitting business?
Do I have to say it's been a number of years?
Okay, so it's not like no.
Yeah, I've been doing it for about 30 years, believe it or not.
Okay, that's about like how old I am. So
Yeah, exactly.
we don't need to age anybody.
Let's keep it that way, all right?
Alright.
I have a little problem with age to begin with, so we'll
I
just
think
keep it at that.
we all do though, don't we? I think we all grapple with that, even though it's like we can't escape it. It's the most
Not a-
natural thing we
There's
have.
not a damn thing we can do about it. Not a
No.
damn thing.
But we definitely, I mean, I grapple with it and I'm fucking young, so time just goes by really fast,
You're not
Not
good.
too
Yeah, that's the
fast.
other thing. That's the other thing. The older you get, the faster it goes. My parents used to say that. I'm like, but I'm telling you, I'm there now. I wake up and it's like Groundhog Day because it's so fast. It's just doing it.
It's so fast. I mean, I could never conceptualize time, but we just make the most of it, and then we don't live with our franchising regrets, and we keep going, and we write books. Well, you write books, or maybe a movie or something.
So you got some connections out there to get this book as a movie?
Oh, not yet. I'm trying to get them for myself. I'm writing a screenplay right now, so I'm gonna have to, but.
Well, when you get done with yours, just remember me.
I absolutely will. Like Joseph said, it's all about connections, but
yeah, that's for sure.
No, I have to go actually be a person, which I don't want to do, so it's fine. Fine. Me and my love for animals, I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure?
Can you franchise critter sitters out there?
I don't know, maybe. I'm like, is that what it's called? That's so cute. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have employees, or is it just like you?
Well, I had 25 employees at one time.
Holy shit.
And keeping track of who's doing what and making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing was just too much of a hassle. I found out, here's a good story for you. One of my sitters was taking care of somebody's house that she took care of quite a few times, and it was just a cat, so it wasn't that many visits. I think it was maybe once or twice a day. The owner comes home. She calls me up. She goes, Nance, I got a little question for you. I'm like, oh God, what happened? She goes, did your pet sitter stay at my house? We don't sleep in. The whole idea is that we come and go. That's the whole idea of my business. I was like, not that I'm aware of. Why are you asking me this? She goes, well, her colored hair in my shower. That was number one. She says, but the worst part was she drank a very expensive bottle of wine and replaced it with a $10 bottle of wine. It's like, what?
No, that's bad.
She says, so I called my sitter after I got off the phone. I was like, wait. I got to find out what's going on here. So I called her up and she goes, yeah, apartments, and I just needed a place to stay for the weekend. I was like, wait, you have no permission. We're insured. Shouldn't we stay at people's home? What's the point? She goes, well, I replaced it. And then I explained to her, with a $10 bottle of wine, that was more like a $150 bottle of wine that she was saving for a special occasion.
Oh, no.
I decided, you know what? So I slowed down. I shrunk the territory that I took care of. I'm telling you, I could write a book on just critter sitters and some of the things I've seen. And now it's just, to make a long story short, now it's just me. I just do it, as much as I can. And then when I get too busy and I have to turn away clients, it breaks my heart. But there's only one of me now, so I can only do what I can do.
No, yeah, that's a nightmare managing other people. I'm like, I can barely manage myself, so I get that. But that's also like just like so insane because like when I do dog sitting, like I do sleep at people's houses because that's what they want. But like I can only imagine like the horror I would have felt if I was that woman. Like he's just squatting in my
Right? That's exactly what she was. She was a squatter. I was like, oh no, oh no. So
that doesn't make
got
you
rid of-
that's too much.
I got rid of her, obviously, and got rid of the territory, backed it back down to like my immediate area, and it's working just fine.
That's good. You know, no more drinking under. I've stayed at some people's house. I stayed at like one lady's house in like Marin County, California for like a month, and she was like, "You can drink as much wine as you want, but if they have the pink sticker on the bottle, that means they're special." And I was like, "Okay, heard." And then I did drink a lot of her wine, but she said I could. You know what? She came home and she wasn't mad about it because they left all of the pink ones alone. I was like I was there for a month and a half, lady. You know that like the 15 bottles of those are gone, but like
a month and a half, okay. It wasn't like a week.
that would be bad. Then we'd have to assess my drinking, which I already sometimes have to do anyways.
Don't we all? We all.
Yeah, so okay, well tell us some more insane stories then about your dog. Like now I want to hear some.
Let me tell you something about the book.
Yeah, tell me anything.
Let's get back to the book. There's a part in the book where Chris is at some affair. I believe it's his sister's wedding. So the whole family's there. He has all kinds of expensive cars. So he took one of his expensive cars to the wedding and parked it like he usually does. Stayed overnight. Come to find out that somebody came, broke his sunroof, and poured a bucket of shit into the car. Destroyed it. Now, that's a true story. I know of a fact. I can't give you too many details because it has something to do with the police department, where somebody broke the sunroof, and poured a bucket of crap into the guy's car just because he was pissed off at him.
That's really just.
So I got that idea and I kind of went with it a little bit, with the book. So that's a true story.
Wow. I mean, I'd hate to be the guy to come to my car with a bucket of shit in it. No, can you imagine? I have to put myself in the mindset. Like, what would it take for me to carry around a bucket of shit? But like, if I had to come to my car and like clean that, I think it would just ruin the rest of my life. I don't.
Right. In my book, he doesn't. He just totals it. He doesn't go anywhere near it.
Well, he has like 87. He has a bunch of cars. But like a normal person, although I live in LA, I don't know that there's that many normal people in LA, but
definitely be crying over the fact. And then how do you get that much crap in a bucket? Like, where'd you?
Yeah, that's just like that. Maybe like you went to the dog park and like got all, or that's just such a perplexing thing in so many levels. I have so many questions for the guy who collected a bucket of shit. But like, hopefully, I never have to meet that guy or a guy who does that. Because again, I have questions. I don't know that I want to meet you, but interesting.
Got questions.
Yeah, I got questions. I mean, not normal behavior. Not that like anything that most humans do is normal behavior, but
nope.
But that's a different kind of special. I don't want to meet that guy.
No, we don't want to meet those type of people. They can stay to themselves.
So when it comes to your book, then is anything else like rooted in reality like that, or like is it just like your fantasy landia mostly?
It's basically my fantasy land.
In another life, were you in the mob? Do you like what?
Maybe. I never really did the ancestry thing. You never know.
Oh, you should do the ancestry thing. Maybe you have like Italian mafia ties.
That'd be so funny, wouldn't it?
That would be very interesting because it's funny because I mean I know everyone. I mean not everyone, but most people write fantasy, but it does seem it's just so opposite from your life. It's very interesting how you got there. Like you're like police work. I like dogs. Leave me alone, people. I like to snuggle pets.
Please. How did we get there, right?
How did we get? There's a lot to unpack in that, And like,
oh my god,
yeah, mafia. I mean, I get it because I think about the mafia sometimes.
Right, but you're right about snuggling. I just want to snuggle my kids and then write the book.
And do you have kids?
My kids are the four-legged furry ones that you saw bounce up here a few minutes ago.
So much better than real human children.
Yeah, I do not have children. I do not want children.
No, me.
My children are four-legged furry and lovable.
Well, they're much more lovable than human children too. Yeah.
I agree. And we can't say that to too many people, but I agree with that.
I'll say it to everyone. Some people look at me like you a gracious human being. Like, yes, I am. Thank you.
It's all about you, right?
So talk about your like create. I mean, you just flow, right? You just like you have an idea and you just write it down, or do you like set writing time? No.
Yeah, I didn't do the normal writers, authors technique. I didn't make an outline. I didn't like say, okay, I'm going to start here, I'm going to end there, and see what it comes between. I just did. Thoughts came to me. I jotted them down. I merged them, and just kept on going. Actually I got to the end where I wasn't sure how to end it. So I could have kept on going and going and going, but I didn't want it to sound like the same thing over and over. So I cut it off on a happy note. And then the second book that I'm doing now, it takes off from there.
From the happiness, you didn't leave people like disheveled.
No, nobody hanging on the edge, stepping on their toes.
I mean, then you might have people with more pressure for you to finish the second ones.
Right, and I don't want pressure because it's not going to work.
No, I feel like creating under pressure is just an absolute no-no in general. Although I put a lot of pressure on myself as a creative. I don't know if you do
If you
that.
do it yourself, that's kind of different than somebody else standing over you. Say you got a deadline, you got to have it all done by a certain date.
I thought that, yeah. Like, I mean, I think we all realistically put a lot of pressure on ourselves, not the deadline itself. Yeah, no, nobody needs that.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Did you self-publish?
I did. It's available on Amazon. It's all new to me, so I'm kind of learning as I go. I didn't know if I wrote a book, how do I get it to the publishers? How do I get them interested? I just didn't know that stuff. So I decided to just go right for the old Amazon self-publish and see what happens. And it took off like wildfire. It's doing very well. Yeah, it's doing very well. I want to keep it going though. That's why I'm doing the podcast to inform people a little bit about the book and give them some little intrigue where they can, want to pick it up. The sex alone is great.
Yeah, I love that. We all love sex.
It's really good.
Love it. Like, so should we are you gonna pitch it to like local bookstores? Try to have them like.
Well, I'm doing a couple of book signings. My local library is allowing us to do that. Some of the libraries in the area. Joe's working on getting me in some bookstores. So it's a work in progress. We're working on it.
Joe facilitates a lot of things. I probably need a Joe in my life.
Here he comes.
Hi again. What was that? We just have some content that's popping up that I'm doing in real time for Nancy, actually, while you guys are recording and tagged you. That we're going to work together. We're going to get our thoughts, but it's all about, and I can't emphasize this enough, with speaking with different walks of life, different creatives, different authors, different podcasters. It's about the connection and assuring that you don't just want to sell. You can't just sell. It's selling yourself, selling your creativity, and building these communities, because otherwise, again, there's no sense.
Why do it?
Then why do it?
Yeah.
But working with Nancy has been so intriguing, and learning about somebody else from my same neighborhood where I used to live.
Yeah, isn't that the great part? He used to live in the same
connected. Yeah, so let's ask her about how we met.
Yeah, tell us.
Well,
okay, go ahead.
No, why not? Okay. So I am a marketer, here in the area, run my own business, and my mother-in-law knows a woman named Anna. Hello, Anna. We're calling you out, thanking you for the connection publicly, and we'll send this to her, this clip. But she reached out to me because she's friends with Nancy, has been for years, and said, there's this local author that's looking for social media. Not sure where to go with this, not sure how to promote herself, wanting you to connect. We literally went for coffee. I ran through some options. It was like we were on almost like a first date, not in a weird way, in a platonic, but we were hit it off immediately. We were sweating bullets. It was a hot September, late August, early September day. And we literally started recording content the same exact day.
And let me tell you something. I was not used to that. I am not in front of the camera person. I never was. I'm learning to be, thanks to him.
Yeah.
But when he told me I was going to do a video, I'm like, I'm going to do a what? And when am I doing it? He goes, now, and we're going to do it right there. I was like, oh my God.
We didn't even sign the contract yet. We went to a park. It was a beautiful late summer, day. She was shaking in her boots.
I sure was.
Sneakers, her critter sitter shirt. And I said, Nance, here's your script. And I write scripts in real time for my clients.
Okay.
Make sure that they're comfortable getting right on camera. And she did a great job, but she's come a long way since since last September. So
thank you.
I'm not just saying that, that.
No.
Yeah.
The funny part was when talking about what's her Anna.
Anna.
Anna. When I was telling you about the first aid squad, her husband, that's how we met. Her husband was on the first aid squad with me.
Yeah.
So this whole town is like intertwined, all connected. So it's pretty cool.
It does sound very, everyone.
Homie.
Yeah, very intricate, which is nice. I mean, not everybody has.
It's not California, that's for sure.
No, nothing's
Not California, but but again, it's about learning about different generations, respecting what Nancy has to bring to the table as a creative, as somebody that knows the town, has been in New Jersey her entire life. I've been in New Jersey my entire life, but I have a whole different perspective, not only the business, but also want to learn about the history of the towns and the people and the stories that come with them.
Yeah, I know, and it's cool that you guys actually get to physically work in human, which is nice.
And we literally hang out too. Like we go to dinner, we have drinks, we have.
See, I wish you guys could go out to dinner and have drinks with me.
Friends.
Now friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am a hard ass because I'm like, Nance, how are we doing on the videos? And she pushes back, but I need that too as a business owner, where I have to respect the limits, but push when I have to get the job done and get certain events ready to roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a perfect example of that. It came in. We're talking about the book signing. He goes, "Well, I'm going to have you read from the book a chapter or two." I looked at him. I said, "You are not going to have me read in public because I barely can talk in public. I'm not going to be reading in public."
Oh.
So he understood where I was coming from, and he backed right down, and we figured out a way.
We figured it out.
Yeah.
We met in the middle. We had our boundaries. We kind of had it out for a few minutes in a very professional manner because this is work time. That was work time. And I said, all right, well then the PR brain in me as an ex-publicist, I mean, for large companies, but currently a publicist for my clients and myself, I said, well, how can we work around this in a different way where you still get the spotlight, where I step in more and assist you to feel more comfortable in a larger crowd. So,
and he's good at that. He really gives you a lot of encouragement. He's just he's a great guy.
Well, thank you.
I mean it.
Well,
I'm not just saying that.
I know you're not just saying that. I'm going to leave and then, then I'll keep a camera here and see what she really has to say.
He's actually a real asshole.
I'm a real jerk, yeah.
Yeah, such a dick.
It's nice meeting in person and you get that, not just a warm, fuzzy feeling, but like when we work together, work is work. We have if the client's investing in my time, I'm giving it back, you know what I mean, to assure that they are seen, they get booked, they have their events, and they continue to make a name for themselves.
Well, that is very important, You're doing good work for us creatives, Joe.
Oh yeah.
In the very beginning, when I was looking for a whole published. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling.
Actually, I like that. I want that on the shirt.
Everybody was not living in New Jersey, wasn't even from the area. They were all over the United States that I was getting quotes from, and I'm like, I want to be able to talk to somebody face to face. So when I met him, it was perfect. And he lives in 2 towns over. So there you go.
That is
perfect.
Yeah, I think finding a publicist is a terrifying journey, but I'm gonna embark on that sooner than later myself.
You have someone in your back pocket there, darling. So hello.
Yeah, you have to just yell at me to finish some shit. That's you.
I'm waiting for our conversation later in the week.
Okay, good. You're gonna have to fucking yell at me and be like, get some shit done.
Get some things done, girl. Come on.
Well, if I can go sign a lease today, I'll be a lot more willing to get more shit.
Yeah, now what's going to happen? I mean, even today, a big part of what I do is being the cheerleader for clients that are a lot of small business owners right now, not only members of our community, but allies and just small business community, managers. And I just want to make sure that when I hop in, it's not just work, where we can accomplish certain things and goals.
Yeah.
And make sure that there's a plan. I'm not just coming in to create a social media post.
Yeah. So many people do. I think I told you that when we had our podcast. I was like, so many people just do that. And
they try to sell you, right? You're not to bring that up, but that's what's part of our episode.
Yeah. Yeah. But we need the energetic support, especially as creatives. I don't know. Well, everybody. I mean, literally everybody in the world needs support and cheerleading. Yeah.
True. That's very true.
Leave the real world, the business aspect behind for a few minutes, and then allow someone like me to be your cheerleader. Let's get things done. Let's get the podcast booked and the events managed and then I record the content. We kind of act out the scripts. We kind of have this rapport going with with each other. I think, where we hit a good stride on our campaigns. It's author chats with Nancy. Little plug on her social media, and where we just kind of go back and forth, and like two personas, two characters. But then I go home, I make the edits, I do the closed captioning. So it goes way beyond let's do a video. It takes 2 additional hours after we meet to get one piece of content and running.
Yeah, you do all the not fun stuff.
He's a night owl, so he's up in the wee hours.
I'll work until like 2, 3 in the morning.
While I'm sound
I know
asleep.
your work ethic is fucking insane. I've said it before.
Well, you gotta when you work for yourself. I mean, but that's also if you listen to all the podcasts that I'm on about birth.
I don't know. Listen, I live in California. I'm pretty sure like nobody works that hard here.
Probably.
And I want it all, but I definitely have evolved my mindset too as a originally creative and then business owner. I don't have a choice. I have to be my own support system.
No, you do.
I want it all, and I've always wanted it all, and I still want it all. But now I want to bring everybody with me.
Yeah.
Make sure you're okay. Make sure you're okay. Make sure my other, Jonathan.
I'm never okay.
Everyone else. But like that's why you have to have each other.
Joseph, I need like 24-hour babying. I'm never okay. Let's be honest.
So then we partner up on another podcast, for instance, to check in with each other. You know what I mean? Like that's how I like to
baby me.
Yeah. You need somebody to cuddle you like we cuddle our critters.
I need to be the house cat, like
yeah, exactly.
I need critter.
I'm like mother hen over here, like assuring everyone's okay, and like, are we getting our videos? Are we doing our scripts? Are we practicing our next thing? Like,
yeah, like how did you get over your stage fright then, Nancy? Because I hear there's like so many people in my life who are like, yeah, like I have this and that and blah 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 blah, but like I could never be in a video forever.
Well, explain that first.
Well, the first time that he told me when we first met that I was going to be doing a video, my heart was pounding so hard I can't even explain it to you because you can have a lot of my friends, even when the camera comes out, I'm not the one to go, oh, I'm kind of like in the background. So he was really good with the encouragement, telling me what to say, not the exact words, because when he did tell me the exact words, I screw it up. I was like, wait a minute, I forgot what you said I'm supposed to say. So I said, can we just wing it? Give me the ideas of what
that was fine.
And that's when things really started to work a little bit better. It gave me a little bit more confidence because I wasn't listening to his exact words and I was doing my own words. So that kind of helped a little bit.
Like the light guidance.
Yep. It's a work in progress, that's for sure.
It's a learned trait too, I think, that if you come in with a script, you're not as organic or human as you should be on camera.
Right.
So if I offer some bullet points and you process and we kind of practice behind the scenes before recording, then I think it comes out a lot more human.
It works, right.
Well,
and it shows on camera.
Bullet points are always ideal for me in life too. Anything too strict or too any script, I'll fuck it up. Just in life. Not just like
funny.
Not public speaking, just life.
Yeah. But also I come from a background.
Get up in the morning, brush your teeth, then we're good, right?
Like literally just wake up.
Coffee.
Wake up. Well now it includes walking to the beach every morning because they live like a couple blocks.
I should have taken her up on her offer to send me out to California and just hung out for like a week or a month.
Yeah.
It's been horrible
Or 6 months.
It's horrible here.
Yeah, literally, please. I mean, the offer is still on the table.
If you got some meetings for me, we can.
Can I carry his bags?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll bring the whole Maven Nation to California for a month.
Literally, yeah, just bring them all. Bring everyone.
Jonathan and Robert.
Oh my God, Robert, I need to have at my house every day of my life for the rest of my life.
He talks about you a lot. I know you guys are going to be texting after this too, you and Nancy.
Yeah, I know.
And
I'm glad Robert talks about me. See, it's so good at bringing people together, though. I love that. Like, literally.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, it's a great trait to have. That's
it's
for sure.
a beautiful thing to bring us all together.
But I want that to grow. I want that to build.
Right.
And it's really kind of like a counterculture for me. I think I went in the other direction of where I came from, the corporate background. Mm-hmm. It was all about being all about yourself and what you can bring in for yourself financially and to climb those ladders. And I have been in that game way too long.
Yeah.
And I went the other direction. I said, no, we need to be building communities and helping each other out. Because
I agree. Yeah.
So only so far you can go by yourself, you know.
No, I mean, I've always, to the detriment of my well-being, tried to take people with me, but now I'm doing that in better ways. Not just reckless, careless. Oh, look, lost souls. Let's collect them in a garbage pail and drag them around.
And you grow, like, so at least that's how I've found success in that sense, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
I mean, that's really what it's all about. We're nothing without community.
Yeah.
Helping each other. What's the point?
Exactly.
And then sales will follow, you know.
Yeah, that also matters. That does matter.
That's a little important.
I mean, it's a lot of important.
Kidding. Yeah, it's a big part of it.
I mean, that's something I'm terrible at, but that's why we have Joseph. Not that I'm selling anything.
That's right. That's right.
Shrug emoji, you know.
We all have our roles.
Yeah. So tell Layla about the upcoming event happening in East Hanover in a month from today, May 7th.
Well, like I think I mentioned it, that we're going to have a book signing on May 7th from 7 to 9 in our hometown, but really mine, and now that you moved out.
I'm a former resident, so I slip out, I slip in once in a while. Yeah.
It's my first time to actually doing something like this. My friend had a book signing when I first put the book out, and it was all friends, so I was very at ease. But it's very funny because my girlfriend just got around the table and made me read out loud again part of the book, and I looked up at them because they all knew how I felt about that, and I'm like, I'm not reading. Yes, you are. So I read part of it. I was like, okay, that's like, I read two sentences, and I was like, okay, I'm done. And but it was very fun because it was all my friends, and
you had that support around you.
Yeah, it was really awesome to have that support. And my girlfriend Annie, who hosted it, was just awesome for that. Even think about doing something like that for me. Okay. So the one we're going to be doing in May is a little bit more professional, because I'm not going to know who's coming and who's not coming.
More of a public, event.
Yeah.
More PR based around it. And she has connections everywhere. So Gail over at the library is really doing us a solid too by hosting the event.
Yes, sure.
She's like Carrie Bradshaw. The last season of
Are you going to do some live streaming?
That's up to me. I think we'll be just some live streaming. I'm going to be the MC. Make sure people get a nice line and sign the books and take pictures.
Can we take wine? You're allowed to bring wine to a public place like that?
I don't know.
I mean, I would love that for you guys if you.
Yeah,
wine and cheese.
I feel like wine and book talks have to go hand in hand.
They go together for sure.
Nothing. We'll definitely go out afterwards and celebrate with a bottle of wine.
Of course, but I mean,
on a Tuesday night.
Hey, well, I'm no one to judge days of weeks. I'm not one to complain about a Tuesday.
Well, as a business owner too, Nance can certainly speak to this. With her critter sitters, there are no days of the week. Like, you're always on.
Yeah. Oh, I've never lived my life by days of the week. There's obviously days I have things to do, but that's just because there's a thing to do. That can be. Actually, I had to realize that this weekend. I was like, well, I'm ready to call every landlord, and everyone's like, you don't call landlords on a Saturday, and I'm like, that's when I'm available right now.
Yeah.
Yep. And when you say it's the weekend, for me, it doesn't matter. I work every day of the week.
Weekend?
So
Saturday?
My energy says that today is the day to do this particular thing. So it just if it doesn't work, it's very confusing. But okay, I guess.
But you tried.
Yeah.
You
succeed.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes we do have to adjust to schedules and stuff sometimes, but days, numbers,
and other people. And other people, sometimes we got to adjust.
I know. Relative, though,
Yeah.
Well, hey, what you got? Last inspirations and lingering thought threads that you want to tell the universe.
I kind of gave it all. I think here's the book.
Hold up again. Here we go.
I love it. All right, so everybody,
it's truly a great read. It moves along. There's no lagging. It's a good book.
It's a great beach read for spring break.
Yep. Sitting on the beach with the heat. It sounds good.
And if you're reading it, please review it on Amazon. It brings the ratings up and makes things a lot easier for Nancy going forward with the events.
Yep. Thank you for saying that.
Good. I hope everyone buys your book then, and I will.
And I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
I appreciate you coming. Wish me luck on my apartment hunt later. I'm stressed.
Good luck. Good luck. Good luck with the landlord.
I'll hear about it later over a voice text.
Yeah, you will.
Oh, when?
I'm trying to talk myself into it right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hi, I don't don't have a job. I just moved here. I'm writing a screenplay. They fucking love to hear that. Can I?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
On there, and they're like, yeah, no.
Eventually, someone's gonna have to say yes. That's the thing. It's just like, how many no's am I gonna have to get till someone says yes?
Well, it's like an author, like creative. How many clients are going to say no before they say yes?
Yeah.
How many people are not going to buy the book till someone buys it? You know what I mean? So you got to keep on chugging, Toots.
Yeah, keep going.
We all do.
But what's your screenplay about?
I'm actually writing it in French, and it's kind of like a noir, but not really. It's just like an existential drama crisis about madness and love.
About your life?
Yeah, pretty much. Like loosely based on my time in France.
Sounds very French. I'm very intrigued.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll talk more about it, of course. I only have like 7 scenes, so like
A whole different conversation.
whole different conversation. Well, great chatting with. Oh wait, I'm gonna put them all in there, obviously. But what's your @ on like Instagram and stuff, just so in case people.
Cousins by Nancy Genung.
Just across the board. Just
Yeah,
Google.
just Google that.
And all her
Comes
social
right
media
up.
platforms.
Cousin. You make it very easy. There's no.
I tried.
And she branded the hell out of it. So she's on Blue Sky, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and also TikTok. Just Nancy Genung, Cousins the book.
Beautiful. Love it.
And review it when you get a chance.
Review it. Will do.
That's
All right?
All right. Well,
All right. Thanks so much for this. I appreciate it very much.
The Layla Show.